Welcome back to N. Rajni Kiran, my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to focus on SQL Aggregate Function. SQL supports 4 aggregate functions and they are sum, average, max, maximum, minimum, count. Now let us talk about what is an aggregate function. Aggregation is an operation that computes a single value from all the values of an attribute or all the values of a particular column. So SQL is going to provide such aggregate functions, totally 5, where you can use all these 5 aggregate functions to an attribute or to a particular column of a relation or a table and produce some aggregation of that particular column. And the first aggregate function, that is sum, is going to compute the sum of the values in an attribute and where that column should be a numerical column. And average is the next aggregate function and the keyword we use is AVG, which is going to compute the average of the values in a column. Minimum is the next aggregate function where the keyword we use is min, which is going to compute the least value, that is the small value or minimum value that exists in that specific column or an attribute. Maximum is the next aggregate function and the keyword is max, which is going to compute the greatest values in an attribute. That is maximum value that exists under that particular column that we are going to use. And the last aggregate function is count, which is going to compute the number of values that are going to exist in that particular column, including the duplicates unless they are explicitly eliminated. Now let me show you how we can execute these aggregate functions in SQL environment. So for that, let me just zoom out, maximize my screen so that you can able to see to the things what I am doing at the SQL prompt. So see here, first I'll just type set line size 200 so that the table data can be displayed clearly. Now I wanted to use already existing table, that is EMP table, which comes along with SQL by default. EMP. I'm just listing out all the rows of that table, that is select star from EMP semicolon. Here we go with. So totally how many rows got displayed? Here we get the answer, that is 14 rows got selected. Now let me use the aggregate function count. Select count of star. What does that mean, star? Complete rows of the table from EMP. So here I have used an aggregate function called count of all rows that exist in the EMP table. So when you're going to execute it, you have to get the output as 14. So let us see whether we are going to get it or not. See, 14 is a count. So this is how we can use the aggregate function called count. So it has used all the 14 rows and gave one single value. Now let us go for select. And I am going to use a next aggregate function called sum, and I am going to apply that aggregate function on the column called sal from EMP. So select sum of sal from EMP semicolon. So what it's going to do? So see here, from 800 till 1100 and again from 950 till 1300, it is going to total all the values and it's going to display it for us. So see here. So we got 29,025 rupees as a sum that is written in this particular column called sal. Now we go for another aggregate function, that is AVG is a keyword in order to calculate the average salary from EMP. So the syntax is select AVG of sal from EMP semicolon. So what we have to get the output? 29025 by 14. Whatever the quotient we get, that should be the answer over here. So the answer is 2073.21429. So these are the three aggregate functions, that is count, sum, average. Average is nothing but mean. So total values by total number of values. That is total sum is 29025 by count. Okay. Now let us go for next aggregate function, that is to find out the maximum value that is existing under the column called sal. So for that, this command how I have typed is select max of sal from emp. So before executing this command, let me present you what all the entries that are existing between the sal. 800, 16, 12, 29, 12, 28, 24, 3, 5000 is the biggest number. And see here, this is 3000, that is 1300. So let us see whether this aggregate function is going to give us the output as 5000 or not. Yes, here we got it. Now before executing the minimum, see here, the minimum value is, I think this is the minimum value, that is 800 among all. So 950 is there, less than 950 is 800. So let us see whether the aggregate function min is going to display as 800 or not. Select min of sal from emp semicolon. So this is how we got. So in this video, I have explained how what is an aggregate function and what are those 5 aggregate functions that we use in SQL and how they are going to be implemented in SQL environment. Hope you are clear with the explanation. Thank you for watching this video.